Hey everyone, Daniel Harmon here, showrunner for Tuttle Twins. I want to give you a brief update on what's going on with our progress on the show. We are currently in the animatic phase for episode 2, and I want to show you some really cool detail about our process for making sure we have a really quality episode. So what you see here in front of me is an animatic. That's on my screen here, and if I hit play, you'll kind of see. Anyway, you'll kind of see a little bit of the action going on. But what I really want to direct your attention toward is all these little circles here at the bottom of this timeline. This is 16 minutes long currently. It'll be longer than that by the time it's done. But every one of those little circles is a comment of feedback at this stage of the animatic. Things that need to improve, things that aren't working as well, things that maybe are working great, and we're just leaving a comment on it. But all of those, each different color represents a different commenter, a different member of our brain trust, someone, a creative professional who is giving feedback that we trust. And our director for this episode is Tyler Stevens, as it says right there. And that's the number of comments right there, 319 just on this one animatic. That doesn't even include an additional commenter that wasn't able to get them on. He had a technical difficulty and they weren't adding onto the software. It's called frame.io. It wasn't adding on at the time. I think he had an additional like 50 comments. So almost 400 comments, 400 pieces of feedback on 16 minutes of video, which is crazy. If you do the math on that, gosh, how many pieces of feedback per minute? It's a lot. It's like way too much. So that can be really overwhelming as a director and as an editor, as you go through and you realize how many things have to change. Now, again, not every one of those is something that has to change. A lot of the comments are, haha, this was really funny. I really like this choice. This is great. But a lot of them are, I didn't really laugh at this. What if this improved this way? This is feeling a little long here. This is a little short here. I'm not quite understanding this. That's a lot of the feedback. And granted, there's a lot of different commenters on there. I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 4, 5, or 6. And some of that feedback might overlap. It might be a lot of the people saying the same thing of like, this joke isn't working. But anyway, it's a ton of work to go through in order to make a really quality episode. But we want to do justice by this series. We want to really communicate the principles clearly. And we want it to be just a really fun adventure that kids want to watch over their other media choices, that they will choose to watch it over Netflix or Disney Plus or YouTube or whatever it is they're watching. That's our vision for the show, and that's the process that we go through in order to make sure it turns out really well. And we will go through this. We'll get all the feedback implemented, the changes will be made, and then we'll turn around and we'll do that feedback session again with much less comments. Hopefully the next time we'll do it a second time and a third time, maybe even a fourth, before we have an animatic that's polished and ready to send to the animators. Doing great content just requires a lot of iteration. You kind of have to dedicate yourself to that, and you have to develop a little bit of a thick skin to absorb all that feedback and know which things to implement, which things to change. But anyway, we want to produce a really great show for you. And all this is possible. We're able to put in this kind of time and effort to this because you guys have invested. I want to thank you again for all of your investments in the show. That means so much. We wouldn't be able to do it without you. And we'll give you more updates as we're going along. So we'll see you on the next one.